I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
our competitive advantage, whether it was back in those days or whether it's now, I think it lies in identifying great undiscovered or soon to be discovered categories of spirits. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
Part of it is identifying those trends. And Raj likes to say, I think it was Otto von Bismarck who had this phrase of, finding which way the wind is blowing and jumping on the coattails of history and letting those trends do most of your work for you.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, we're not just good at jumping on the coattails of history as it's gliding through the room. I think we have a bit of an advantage, I think, in terms of being able to create a brand and tell a story,
right,
and getting the packaging right and getting the aura around the brand and being able to communicate that message to consumers where others just either don't have the interest or don't have the ability to do so. And the reason is, you say we're out here doing a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
You call this work?
So let's set the stage then, because with Whistle Pig, you're talking about, setting the sales, if you will, and then following the sales there. You learned a lot about the packaging, about the bottling, about the product itself, but what did you learn to help Bhakta become successful, that what you learned from Whistle Pig?
I think the major lessons had little to do with the spirit that was in the bottle. To have a successful craft spirits company, the sine qua non, you have to have a world-class spirit.
Sure.
You're not going to be able to fool anybody these days. There's too much information out there.
You can have InBev's network of logistics, but if you don't have good stuff, it doesn't matter.
Fair.
And absolutely. And there are probably, of the 100 brands that have the good liquid, that have the good spirit, maybe it's getting harder these days. In the old days, maybe that was enough if you do a little bit of education and a little bit of stuff.
If you got picked up by the right distributor and you're on the shelves, and there was only 24 bottles on the shelf.
That's exactly right.
And not 84 bottles on the shelf.
Right.
You could be something.
Do you feel like you're pounding the pavement more now?
I don't think the amount of pavement pounding is greater. I think it's harder to capture the attention of the room. But I think we have the ability.
We noticed that.
That's why you need Steve. That's why you need Steve. Right?
Yeah.
Look, the guys were having fun.
Yeah.
If this had happened at like some tasting where people are there with I would have maybe had a conniption. But you got to know your audience.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
And these guys were talking about what they were drinking. These guys over here that were chatting with us, they're like, "Did you see, this one was great. Did you like this one? What do you think about this?"
Yeah.
And they were honestly, while you were talking, engaging us in what we were drinking, what they were drinking.
Yeah.
And so I didn't feel so guilty about that.
It's a community that's going on in here right now, because everyone's talking about what they like, and each one of these gentlemen that own certain,
whatever
locations
place
here in
sell,
Southeast
could
Michigan,
or possibly and hopefully will sell Bhakta.
No. It's happened. I mean, a bunch of these people walked in not knowing what Armagnac is and not having heard of Bhakta.
100%.
We've already got, I think, 5 groups tonight who are planning their trips to Vermont to do their own.
Well, you brought it up.
You brought up
the trips to Vermont. So, as the man cave suite been built out yet? First of all, we talked about that in Lake Orion. Second, what has changed in the? It hasn't been a full year since we talked to you. It's been about 8 months, 9 months.
Yeah, it hasn't, and we're sort of hamstrung in terms of what additional we can do until we finalize permitting and the like. And so
that's fair.
We've got zoning done. And there was an article in the Rutland Herald, which is the paper of record in Central Vermont.
I get it. I know about papers of record.
Yeah. Democracy dies in the twilight, or maybe during the eclipse. I got to tell you, not to digress, which I'm sure you guys know I'm good at.
Away.
I drove to Toledo, so I rushed up. I got totality.
And you got out?
You did?
Yeah,
and you got out?
I did. I literally, the second totality ended, I jumped in my car and I was blitzing north on 475.
It got chilly here. That's the thing I noticed the most. It definitely dropped 10 degrees. But I was watching live at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and it went pitch black.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Whoa. Wow. That was weird.
And Raj was sending me pictures from Vermont where they also had totality, which is pretty amazing. Sort of wish I had been there with the mountains in the background and all. But when I was in Toledo, it was a little bit overcast. It was a little bit hazy. Okay. But all of a sudden, all you saw was literally the moon in this ring of fire surrounding it. And I don't know what the
little Johnny Cash action.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like this.
Like my dad said.
I didn't get like the full-on emotional reaction, but I almost got like a hit of adrenaline or that I couldn't explain. Like I felt on edge all of a sudden.
How old are you going to be in 2044 when it happens
No, it's
again?
99 when it comes here again. Apparently, this happens 5 times a year. You just got to be in the right piece of the world for to see it.
Middle of the ocean.
Right. In Michigan.
Right. So there are people who are having this kind of like freak out 5 times a year in Kuala Lumpur. Imagine like seeing this on Easter Island and people start jumping off, off of cliffs and stuff.
Into the volcano.
Jumping into the volcano, exactly.
Well, not to digress again, but I was just in the Yucatan last week, and
of course you were.
I visited the pyramids at Uxmal, which are, Chichen Itza is great.
I did Chichen Itza.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what those guys managed to figure out 1,500 years ago with a society. I mean, they had all of this predicted. They had this one predicted. They had it predicted 1,500 years ago. It's just incredible.
So we're tasting some of the spirits, and we have one of the 50 years. This is the brandy, I think.
We're pouring 3 tonight, so I'm not sure which one you got your hands on, Jamie.
What are the 3 that you're pouring?
So we've got barrel 23, barrel 24, and barrel 25, which are the 3 barrels which are available here in the state of Michigan.
I thought he said Gandhi.
So Gandhi would be 24.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought you said you had names to them. Wasn't one of them Morgan?
Why is this Gandhi, and what is this?
It's kind of ironic that it's named Gandhi because he was a teetotaler who instituted prohibition in his home state.
Why after him? Why would you do that?
In your eye, Gandhi.
Yeah, Raj wanted to maybe tip his hat or maybe thumb his nose. However
to Ben Kingsley.
Yeah, maybe. But it's Raj's heritage. Woo. He's proud of his Indian
100%.
heritage. His family 100%. They had a great legacy of doing some great works in their village. They built the first school there, the first hospital there. Damn. This is before his father had come to the States and built a successful business here, and before Raj did anything he did. And so
these 50s are all finished in the Islay casks.
That's
right,
correct.
And that's because it's smooth with a smoke. Is what I'm getting on this.
That's the smoke. Yeah, I got the smoke on that, and definitely got the smoke on that.
There's the smooth with the smoke in that.
Yep, 50 years of age gets you the smooth, and the Isle of Cask will get you the smoke.
Yeah.
So when we talked to you last, relative to then, how many more products are you now available in Michigan?
Oh boy, I think we probably have 2 or 3 new listings, and that would be the 1928, which I don't believe we tasted.
We tasted it.
Oh, we did last time. Okay.
We tasted it here today.
Yep.
And that was the biggest chatter in this room was about that spirit
was a 28.
and that rye and how good it was.
28 rye, yeah.
Look,
these guys here, that's all they wanted to talk about with us.
Look, please.
Go ahead. No,
sorry, Matt.
Please, Leo. Go
no. The 28, I think it stands apart because it's a great product in the whiskey category, and I think I mentioned this the last time. The way we're going to build the bridge for consumers into the Armagnac, into these old brandy categories, is either through cask finishes or through blending, because that's how we found out about them.
Yeah,
it was through that Boss Hog for the Armagnac cask black.
And there is a certain segment that doesn't want to touch blends. They're just not, because they don't really know. They're drinking out of collecting and not drinking out of drinking. Drinking blends is the biggest delight I get out of drinking spirits.
I enjoy drinking.
It's the perfect, what I call the perfect blend of flavor. Right.
Mm-hmm. No, I actually use this phrase because we have a scaling system, culinary screw, and I've actually used the terminology this evening.
It's very advanced. Very advanced.
I'm married to the 28. It is really good.
Yeah.
They were using that in the old fashions as well, but we're like, you know what? Let's see what it's like just on its own.
And that's what I have. I got a second 100-year. You called it. He goes, that's not old fashioned, Jamie. That's 100-year old fashioned.
That's exactly what it is.
I'm like, oh,
nobody else can do that.
I grabbed Leo earlier and I told him that we have a podcast, right? And my family knows I have a podcast, and they are so sick of me having a podcast that they no longer respond every time I say listen to my podcast. So my brother-in-law in Chicago shows up at Christmas going, I got this great stuff. And I found out he found out at a bachelor party that someone brought this high-end booze, this high-end stuff. And it was a bottle of Bhakta 1928. And that's what we're drinking at Christmas. And I'm like, I did a whole podcast about this that I sent to you, Travis. He's like, oh, you did? I'm like, yeah. So I texted him tonight. I go, how did you find out about this? He goes, well, it was a bachelor party, but also this crazy TikTok video. And you might have saw this TikTok of this guy in this light blue hat going, this stuff is a 12 of 10, and he's like going berserk. And I'll show it to you.
We
when we're
gotta
done.
send it to you.
Yeah, we'll
'cause,
send it to you.
It's
that's
really
hilarious.
funny. And
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I not doing this for a living? But this guy was just raving about it. He goes, and this went around our friend group in Chicago, and we bought the bottle, and I'm like, you know what? I'm drinking the 1928 right now, as a matter of fact. So
It's getting around.
it does get around.
Yep,
It gets around.
takes a while. We just started distribution like midsummer last year in Michigan, and
Okay.
it's same as Whistle Pig. You just see it grow incrementally. It's events like this where we had so many wonderful guys, these great store owners who hadn't heard of our stuff yet. Which
Do you get sick of talking about Whistle Pig?
not really.
No.
because
I
I
mean,
still love it. I think it's a great
look,
story.
a great product. It's a great story, and I
Yeah.
guess it gives you your in, right, with the new side.
I think it helps. A lot of people are familiar with it.
All right, well, they knocked it out of the park with that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else
Yeah.
what else you got.
Yeah, I don't
Give
think
me the
it
next
hurts.
pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And something the Whistle Pig never did was rum.
Mm-hmm.
Or
that's what-
brandy.
That's sort of what I was getting at. They're a little bit constrained in whiskey and
Yeah.
maybe to a degree in
Which was
rye.
fine. That's
But
Matisse.
absolutely, be the best you can
Be
be
the
in that
best at that
category, and that you've done a pretty good thing. But with this, the doors are off. We're on tabula rasa. It's a blank slate now.
Sure.
We can do with Bhakta. What we can do is we can curate, find, bottle, and bring to consumers the best vintage spirits in the world across all categories.
And you have that experience behind you.
Mhm.
Absolutely have that experience. And, not. I kind of want to say you have that knowledge, but it's more about the relationships that you already have.
Doesn't hurt.
It does not hurt
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form because you're a people person.
I have my moments.
Your presentation tonight was glorious, and
Thank
the
you.
guys are on doing their side talking, what have you. Like, shut up and listen to this guy because he's got a lot of great things to say. Because you are a historian, you love history.
Yeah, I do. But look, for the crowd, you just have to know your crowd.
Sure.
Sometimes it's going to be like the customers, the folks who are like fanatics about spirits, and they will sit there with pen and paper and they'll
Sure.
fill,
Yeah.
10 pages in a notepad. And that's great. But an event like this is great too. These are guys who probably friends, relatives
Right.
who haven't seen each other in months. And this is a chance to get together
I
and
get that.
enjoy some great
Once
spirit and to
you-
learn a little.
Once you vacate that seat, I'm going to try to grab a couple of these guys and say, what
Terrific.
did you taste today, and what did
Awesome.
you like about it? And what
I
did
love
you taste?
So, but the rum, right? So rum, it always struggles to really go. So to have it as part of your catalog is pretty cool.
Honestly, with this
If
rum,
somebody when rum's your only gig,
yeah.
but to have it as part of the array,
Right.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
I think I teased the rum when I was on the podcast
You
up in
did.
Lake
If I
Orion.
remember
did.
correctly.
And I think I promised to bring it to the next one.
and
you did.
and there it is.
There it is.
And we're drinking. I feel like I should put a
What should we know
an
about the
umbrella
rum?
in it.
I think first and foremost, just there's only 1,500 bottles, 2,000 bottles of it that we had sufficient liquid to make.
Okay,
So this is extremely limited. It's extremely low supply.
thank you.
Price point super high. It's scarcity. It's age. It's exquisite quality. This stuff, the minimum shelf price, I think here in Michigan, about $650 a bottle.
Okay,
So it's not going to fly off the shelves. It's got.
did I overstep by pouring myself one?
No. That's what it's here for. Enjoy, man.
thank you.
That's why I brought it. No, but we want people to enjoy it, and eventually the right people will find these bottles.
That's right.
We're
That's
in
right.
no rush to sell it.
Sure.
And we don't want to sell. We don't want to give it away just to give it away.
Are these
either.
going to retail or do people?
Yeah, some of them are going to retail. A lot of it, frankly, has been sold to our collectors who have
Right.
spent tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars
They already.
on our other stuff. They want one of
Okay,
everything.
fine. My brother doesn't get one.
So what you said about 650 on the.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
All
But
right.
for
And
a 30-year-old rum, and actually a portion of that is 1985 rum. The other portion is 1990 rum. So some of it is
two
even
very good years
older.
for me.
Yeah. Dare I ask
I was
why?
11. I was 11. Come on.
and then the finish on it
Could ride
again.
my bike all night until the.
The Armagnac.
Yeah,
casks.
Armagnac cask finish on
So-
it as well. Yeah.
How long do they stay in the Armagnac?
I could come up with a number, but
Okay,
I don't recall.
They live in them for a while.
Yeah, they
Little
do.
bit.
Enough.
So, enough
We're-
to add the color in the.
And
the
the
flavor
flavor,
and-
and we're doing it at a scale where no barrels are getting lost at this point when you're only doing a couple thousand bottles.
Yeah. You got to
Yeah.
wheeze the juice on
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yep, we're watching it closely. So,
see, one of the other things I really enjoy about you, sir, is that you bring your father with you. And he joined us.
he's the man.
Yeah,
Dad. I think my son was at the last one too, wasn't he?
He was.
Did he pop in at the end? He came with you, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dad's been doing some help. He's a CPA attorney. He's been doing some help. He's semi-retired, but he's been doing some help behind the scenes with Raj and the company in the back office.
That's awesome.
He was a wine guy, but we're getting him into spirits now.
Clearly, yes. Not clear liquid, but
Oh, there's a spice in this. There's not a spice on the nose, but there's a spice in the taste on the rum.
Yeah, it's got some fire to it, a little cinnamon, a little zip to it.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of caramel on this one.
Because like spiced rums, you smell it, and you smell the spice. I'm not smelling spice.
You know, I get like banana Foster here, and there's
But in
like
the taste, it's a spicy taste. And there's
sure.
on the back of the palate with that, I kind of get that dark. I get a dark fruit.
Yeah.
Like a dark cherry almost, like a dark raspberry, if you will, blackberry.
Sure. Like almost overripe.
Yeah.
It's just,
It sits nicely. It really does.
Where are you guys breaking out? What is your breakout market right now? What's catching on for you?
You know, a lot of it's a function of geography and time and market. So Massachusetts, we're doing really well.
Okay.
It's a 3-hour drive from campus. It's easy to get folks up to Pulteney from there.
And they're immersed in the story.
And then you got them. Yeah.
And it's easy, and it's similar to what we saw, frankly, at the old company.
Okay.
Florida is doing really well. We've spent a lot of time in market down there too. There's a lot of money down there, and at our price point, you want to go where that is. And,
Sure.
What else? Illinois has been doing well.
Okay.
We're off to a really great start this year in Illinois. Benny's just picked us up, and we had been doing well with the independent stores up there till now.
Are you how far out west are you guys going right now?
We're in California. We hired a full-time rep just to cover San Diego. It's such a huge. It's like, how do you eat the elephant one bite at a time, right?
Sure,
right. With California, we have we do a fair amount of business in the Bay Area. Blackwell's, which has a strong online business, big store, and they've got 2 or 3 stores in the Bay Area. They've really gotten around us or behind us, and there are people in the Bay, especially, who like Armagnac because it is distilled wine.
That's fair.
We've got the finest, oldest stuff in the world, and when you got that Silicon Valley money, it's
right.
There's an appetite for what we're selling. So, California's just sort of getting off the ground. It's similar to Michigan. We launched it at about the same time.
Okay.
We've got one rep way down south in San Diego. Really good kid, Tom Levrun.
Are all of these offerings available here at like your Total Wine? Is there a whole like wall of Bhakta there? Or?
Not a wall of Bhakta, but they did an initial order of the 73 and they did the 28. I think they've sold out in a few of their stores. I know they're sold out in Ann Arbor honestly, shame on me. I should be on like, when's the reorder coming? And we got to get the 28 in there as well.
Right. Oh, he was like looking for they were looking for the rum. I'm like, take it. I think Steve was looking for the rum. I don't know.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, Steve, if you need the rum.
Steve.
Do you guys want to get Steve on? You said you wanted to get a minute with him, or do you want me to? I'll come back on. I'll jump back on. I'll stay local if you guys want.
No, Steve's out. Steve was just coming for a pour.
Steve, can you find us someone who enjoyed the spirits today who'll come talk about it? Talk about what they drank today.
Pull somebody over.
Pull someone over.
Yeah. We'll drag somebody.
Talk about their show. Talk about where they're selling it. Give them a little promo.
There you go.
Yeah.
Make them come.
It's what I've always said. It's easy for me to say nice things about the spirit. I'm as biased as
quick?
anybody can get.
We got our buddy over here.
Awesome.
Throw a little in there. Leon.
Absolutely. We'll do. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So welcome to the all right. Put up the headphones on.
Okay. A shy bunch.
Shy bunch. Here's the rum if you want. So we're trying.
He just came for the rum. All right.
There you go.
Are you guys done talking about it? Because a couple people.
Yeah. Bring it over, Steve. Thank you.
We're not done talking about it, but
we'll
we don't have to keep the bottle in front of us. We were hogging the bottle. The bottles are gorgeous too.
They really are.
They're shaped. The bottle's shaped after what building again?
It's the
Chrysler building.
Yeah,
the Chrysler
It's
building.
got
It's reminiscent
very
of
Gatsby.
the Chrysler. Yes,
it's got a Gatsby feel to it.
And that one I owe to my dad too. My grandfather, his father was the chief engineer at Plymouth Dodge back in the 1960s.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. We knew we wanted to do something Art Deco, and to me, the epitome of Art Deco. A lot of people think Empire State Building, Guardian Building here in Detroit, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
He'll
magnificent
stay up
example.
till this
to Broderick,
dome
but
looks like the top of the Chrysler building.
Sir, tell us who you are and what you're doing here. How'd you get here? What you think?
All right.
Tell us who you are and what you thought today. He doesn't need the cans. It's not that, you know.
Yeah, it kind of does.
All
Yeah,
right.
there you go.
Drag it on you.
Right up on there.
All right. So what's your name?
My name is Sam Zituna.
Hey, Sam. Get closer.
Zituna.
Bring it closer, Sam.
Napa Valley Beverage Company,
Absolutely.
Where's that at?
right on 15 in Mount.
I go there all the time. I'm with the Coonans.
You
we're
guys-
friends with the Coonan brothers.
You guys do
So
like
I go
some-
there all the time.
No
You
wonder it looks familiar to me. I did 2 collaboration with Coonans.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I've been at all those releases, and I've been around. Yes, the Coonan
You
brothers
guys
are dear
are-
friends of mine.
around the holidays. You do some special drops and special releases and
Always.
some fun, hiding Easter eggs and raffle pulls.
I
And
think
I
I
don't
did,
know if you can use the
I
word
did
raffle or
Mr.
not.
No,
but-
no, we don't want to use the rifle.
Not the word raffle, but there are people getting bottles in interesting ways
Correct.
at your place.
They
And
have to
it's
get
fun.
lucky. They have to get lucky.
It's
right?
fun.
I think we did Mr. Paul's once together.
That was
Do you ever do the Mr. Paul's Beer Club?
yes, a long time ago.
That was
I
a long time since I've done it too.
About 6-7 years
Yeah,
ago. maybe.
yeah. That's it.
All right, so you've been trying the Bhakta tonight. What have you enjoyed? What stood out for you that you're like, hey, I want this in my store?
Actually, the private select is quite interesting to me, and I am thinking of getting one of those barrels at my store
Barrel.
because I'm always about custom blending
Sure.
and private select. That's what all my customers know about. So,
So
I'm
you're going to
really
get a
interested,
ticket and head out to Vermont
of course.
and
then-
have an experience.
I don't want to commit to that, but it's on my bucket list.
Of course.
Yeah,
Trying to help you out, Leo.
I love New England. Yeah, we're getting them on a plane.
There you go.
We're
Napa Valley Beverage.
gonna get them on
Beverage.
Get them on a
Beverage. Napa Valley Beverage.
That's
That's right.
beverage.
Yeah. Everybody mistakes it for Napa Valley Liquor, but
That's fair.
Napa Valley Beverage.
Excellent.
No, it's a
Fine.
great store. I've been there many times. Many
Thank you.
times.
But and when I tried these 50 years old, I was really intrigued with the 23 and the 25. It's excellent
Yes.
product, and I'm sure that I'll have a place for them on the shelf.
Is
for
that
my-
something you feel your customers, your consumers are looking for? Is that why you're kind of moving in that direction? or-
Well, it's not that. It's more hand sell. You have
Okay.
to pick the customer, and then I love Armagnac myself.
Okay.
So
so you're
I
trying
have-
to turn your customers on to what you feel would.
correct. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Correct.
I got you.
So this is how business is done, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
All right, guys. It was good talking to you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for- Thanks for jumping in, man.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Gentlemen, want to join us?
Alex, you want to jump on?
Jump on?
No, I have to go. I got some.
So
Everybody's networking and moving here. We're in the
Yeah.
movers and shakers of the liquor distribution industry here.
We turn the microphone on and they're scattering like geese.
I know. As soon as we invite people over.
Good
So,
work. Great to meet you. Yeah. All right.
yeah.
Let's go
just,
man cave.
we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
I love that. Go make it.
Go make it.
Oh, enjoy it. They give them a button.
yeah, we'll give it a buttons. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Matt.
Go ahead, Leo. Yeah.
No, I
please.
was just going to say to the gentleman you were just talking to on the store up in Sterling Heights, to his point, I mean, it's a hand sell, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't want necessarily at this point. Look, if you love Tito's, if you love Maker's Mark, that's great. Maker's Mark
that-
is how
yeah.
Dave got his start, and Dave was the guy who helped create like this whole venture in spirits for us. But if you're just looking for the name on a label that is sort of like the default, the automatic selection, that's not where we are. And maybe in the space we're playing, that's not where we'll ever be. What we want is the people who want to know about the next big thing that before anybody else in the world knows about.
Right.
Because
Sure.
that's kind of where that is. Where
Well, because you
That's the
said
hand
like
sell, yeah.
Whistle Pig 1,
Mhm.
those bottles are going for upwards of what now?
15,000 plus at auction.
That's nuts.
And that was begging on our knees back in the old days
Right.
at $170 SRP.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Cheers. And so it takes time, and it takes work, and it takes the education piece. It takes the storytelling.
Yeah.
It takes building those relationships with the store owners, and it takes building the relationships directly with the consumers. When you've got folks who know what they're talking about out there spending 300 plus days a year on the road in market, and you got 4 or 5 of them doing it, and they're each getting in front of 30 or 40 people a night. That's how you create a brand, and it's hard work.
Well, we're going to do a podcast soon. I've been talking about this for months. All right, where we take a bunch of ryes, we do a little taste test, the same thing we do with Irish whiskeys, and I'm going to throw a bottle of the 1928 in there. We're going to see. We all try to predict how it's going to go ahead of time,
and
we did with Irish, and it did not work out the way we predicted.
It was a blind
all.
tasting, and we had no idea what we were drinking.
And we knew the
there.
bottles in the other room.
We had
and Matt's
the 6 bottles.
I hate this one. And it was the one he picked as the number one.
Yeah. We literally gave her 6 bottles and said pour 5 of them. So one was even left out.
By the way, not the 1928 though. That was
that. That wasn't it. No, this is Irish.
Oh no, we did the Irish.
We did the Irish.
So we're gonna do ryes. We're gonna do a blind on ryes and see which rye we like best.
Let me say something. I may have said this back in Lake Orion, but I'll say it again. Let me say something very nice about a product that Whistle Pig recently released. I don't know if they have it here in Michigan. They have an Irish whiskey that it's not under the Whistle Pig label, but they're helping with the marketing and the distribution. It's called Limavady.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys have had it. It's got a blue label on it. It's like a 5-year-old Irish. I think the price point is about SRP of 50 or 60 a bottle, and it's absolutely delicious. It's one of the best Irish.
I'll look forward to Thomas McGee's. McGee's no longer carries Jameson because they want everyone to try all the other Irish whiskeys there. They said if I have Jameson, no one will drink the other stuff. So they took Jameson off their shelf.
That's awesome.
They moved through a lot of Irish whiskey there.
Fair enough. So this has been an experience because you're traveling out to Vegas here very shortly to continue your adventure on getting your product and this portfolio out to the public. So in the next couple of years with this portfolio, where do you see yourselves going? Are there other products that you guys are developing right now? Where are we going with this?
It's going in a bunch of different directions. There's always going to be these special releases where we get our hands on some amazing old barrels like we did with that 2013 bourbon, which is basically now sold out. It was the number 3 bourbon of the year last year, 97 points from Paul Pacult at the Ultimate Spirits competition. Wow. Incredibly well won Best in Show at Los Angeles Spirits competition. The old rum, we'll do one-offs like that, a couple thousand bottles. We have an Indian whiskey coming out at the end of the year. We've got a 2005 rye coming out mid-year. So what we're going to do is basically quarterly releases of these special releases, these rare finds that we're able to pick up. Okay. Normally we'll do some sort of a blend or a cask finish on it. A lot of times it's going to point back to the Armagnac category. But beyond that, we are looking at other spirits categories, right? We've got our hands on some tequila now. Yep.
You don't have enough to do?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How's your liver?
We all have ADHD in the organization, it's
So we're drinking your spirits, and we're seeing that Padre sitting up there, like, ooh.
So the Padre is kind of screaming at me right now.
Go get it, boys. I mean, that's what we're here for.
That's your standard, though. If you're looking to produce a tequila, that Padre is as good as it gets.
Oh yeah. No, Benchmark found some great stuff there. They've done a great job bringing that to market. Yeah. So different. We're category agnostic. We just want the oldest, best stuff in the world.
Fair enough.
Is that too much to ask for?
That's too much to ask for.
It's not, but there are goals. Yeah.
Hey, aim high.
Yeah.
Shoot for the sun, and you'll at least get the moon, unless
your wings melt,
or unless there's an eclipse. In which
there
case,
you go.
Thank you, Casey.
All right. Icarus.
That's right, Icarus.
So, do you have people scouring the globe for old barrels?
I mean, Raj gets around a lot. We have friends who are in the bulk trade who know where the good stuff is. Giles over in France, who's apprenticing under our cellar master Bernard Domecq. He's getting to know the trade and getting to know where the good old stuff is. So on a regular basis, I would say quarterly somebody's making a trip somewhere to find some great old stuff.
Fair enough. You got to keep it out. You got to keep yourself out there. You got to keep looking. Right.
The good news is we're starting to see the bulk market roll over a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that, the barrels in a couple of years ago that were going for $5,000 a barrel, maybe it's for $4,700. It's the market's getting a little bit crowded, and some of these craft guys who aren't maybe as well capitalized are getting stretched a little, which is great for us because it just means more opportunity.
All right.
Leo, we could do 5 more podcasts this week with you.
God, yeah.
Honestly, if you guys are hiring, I am a free agent. I can talk too.
Do you need an ambassador?
Yeah, who knows where I'll end up? Eventually we will probably need a Michigan ambassador because I'm getting too old for this stuff.
All right,
I'm just getting warmed up. So.
All right.
August and I just kind of
looking for a career change from public service.
We got plans over here.
Time to bring in the fresh livers, boys. Bring them off the bench.
Wait.
That's the wrong way to describe it here.
The well-seasoned livers.
All right, cross-trained. Yeah, all right.
There you
Let's
go.
go with that. No, Man Cave Happy Hour. Leo, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Of
thanks so
course.
much
It's
for
always
being
fun
here.
catching up, guys. It's good to see you again. Anytime.
We'll do it in
let me
8
know.
months and
Yep,
see just
sounds
how
good.
it's blown up even since then.
Look, we like I said, 2 cool new special releases coming out of the back half of this year. The 2005 rye, the 10-year-old Indian whiskey. Nobody's got Indian whiskey that old. Maybe at the end of the year, what we can do is sit down, go through the 4 special releases we came out with this year.
Well, let's get you in
Be
here
a
for
good
the
way to put a
holidays.
cap on
Let's
things.
get you in here when during
good
the
way to put a
holiday
cap on
beverage
things.
selling season. We'll get you in like October, and we'll talk about everything you need
Bring
to
you
gear
into
up
our
for the holidays.
studio,
Sounds
have a
great.
night, have a dram, and go from there.
Sounds good, fellas. It was
Right.
great, really great
I'm
catching up.
intrigued.
Yeah.
Thanks,
You're
Leo.
You're
You're the
welcome.
best, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Awesome
guys.
night. Thanks, fellas.
All right, there we go. Man Cave Happy Hour, mancavehappyhour.com.
Good seeing you guys.
Like
You're
and
welcome.
subscribe.
All the podcast things in all the podcast places. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I'm Matt Fox.
Well, I'm supposed to say that you're Matt Fox, and you're supposed to say
Hey,
I'm August Gitschlag. We've been out of practice for how long now?
a month.
A month. It's been a month. So
I went OG. All right?
I'm going to go get me another sniff of that 1928 before I go home.
Do it.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
fellas.
Get
Cheers.
some of that
See
tequila
you
too.
next time. Yeah.
Good night, everyone.